I have just completed an FTP test every single day for an entire week. What did I learn? How did I fare? And will this change my opinion on power testing in general? Let's flash back to the start of the week when I was much fresher. It's the start of a new year, a time which many of us begin to think about improving our fitness. But with the weather still pretty miserable at the moment, I've decided to head indoors for this challenge. I've chosen the grade over on Zwift, 3.5 kilometers long, 8.6% average gradient. Every time you complete this climb, you get a pretty accurate estimate of your FTP. And I've decided to try and complete it 7 days in a row. It's time to stop procrastinating and get kitted up for my first test. The other benefit to indoor training is that it's easier to keep things as consistent as possible across different efforts, and that is really my aim from this experiment, to keep things the same. So one of the ways I'm doing that is I'm going to use the same trainer for each test. I'm using Wahoo's Kickr Move smart trainer, so I can be sure of power accuracy across each FTP test. Also, it's going to be pretty comfortable too, because it's got that inbuilt travel, which allows me to move throughout my efforts. And I think I'm greatly going to appreciate that on day 7. FTP, or functional threshold power, has long been used to set training zones and track fitness. Whilst the gold standard test is arguably a 1 hour max effort, Zwift's The Grey Climb test estimates FTP quicker and in a more approachable way by matching your effort to power curve data. Though FTP isn't perfect, as I'll discuss in this video, it's a handy metric. How will mine evolve this week? Let the test begin. Right then, warm up complete, coming up to the start of the climb. Let's see what I've got in the legs to begin with. Right, we're off. I am trying my best to keep on top of all the data in this as well. So aside from power data, I've also got my heart rate monitor on, tracking that. And I'm also going to keep tabs on my resting heart rate and my HRV to see how I recover from day to day across the week. Now though, it's time to settle in, dig deep. Doesn't matter what power test you're gonna do, what fitness test, it always hurts. That's what it's all about. Whilst I continue my efforts, I thought I'd tell you a bit more about the Kickr Move, Wahoo's top spec smart trainer that I'm using for this experiment. Designed to be used with your own bike, its movement comes from 20 centimeters of inbuilt forward and backward motion, as well as small side-to-side tilt. So whilst this is a static indoor trainer, when you put down an effort, your bike literally moves and responds to that effort, which Wahoo says is designed to create a more realistic feeling that also improves comfort. To manage this, it's got a wider base than Wahoo's other trainers with solid stability, meaning you can bash out up to 2,200 watts if you really wanted to. Although, at the moment, that seems like a very far cry for me. Oh, that hurt about as much as I remember. Day 1 done. I think I averaged 400 watts. On the grade there. I'm gonna have to look through all the data when I jump off the bike. To take to my FTP from that effort has been 352. So that's the first mark I put down for the week. Before I recover from day 1, I'd also like to track my shorter duration power during this week's experiment. So it's a 30 and 60 second max effort on the cards before I cool down. Oh, the minute's the worst. Oh, it was my idea to do the minute, wasn't it? Oh, right. Cool down, shower, porridge, then we do it all again after some sleep. Day 2, I'm back, kitted up, ready to go. Second test out of 7. Legs are pretty sore last night, but I think I've recovered fairly well. It's a shortish effort after all, but yeah, a little bit of tightness, a little bit of soreness. Time to jump back on the saddle though. Got that climb again. So day 2, yesterday's FTP detected at 352 watts, 400 watts for the effort up the climb. I love a bit of self kind of competition. So I've got a bit of a carrot this time. I'm gonna be interested to see how that affects my effort. Can I cheekily overcome it, or will the fatigue from yesterday prove too much? Motivated to give it a good go. Dig deep once more, day 2, let's do it. Woo. Right then, here we go. Legs felt good in the warm up, but you never know truly until the effort starts. First impression, I reckon I can do better than yesterday. Let's see. Right, we're into it. 12 minutes, 59 seconds, try and beat. So far, pacing pretty well. Feel much more controlled today actually. The legs have warmed up into it. Heart rate's stayed lower too. So I'm hoping I've got a bit left in the bank. Last 100 meters. I think I should went harder than yesterday. Let's spin the legs, recover, and there's those shorter efforts. Right then, 30 seconds, all out, let's go. Day 2 done, FTP was up 364 watts, so I'm happy with that, but the shorter power on the 30 second and 1 minute was down around 50 and 100 watts respectively. But yeah, I'm happy with that longer effort. I'm not sure I was expecting it to be more. I thought I was kind of waiting for my body to kind of start complaining, but actually felt really good pushing on there. I feel I've got a bit more in me over the next few days. I'm not sure how I'm going to be by the end of the week. I'm still unsure, but it's early days. Time to recover now, get a shower, get some food. I'll meet you back here tomorrow. Right, straight into it. What a way to start a day. I think it's the competitiveness of myself that's making me dig deeper a bit each day, but at the end of it all, the legs haven't got it. I think so far I'm on to another good day. So I'm just gonna push as hard as I can and see what I can manage today. You can tell I get competitive with myself. Sometimes the biggest battles are with yourself. I really kind of pushed hard from the start, and I was able to hang in there really, slotted into the groove. I was able to dig deep again. I've always kind of preferred doing an effort after a bit of fatigue in the legs from previous days. I was faster there, I think around 40 seconds faster, and I've put my FTP up by another 20 watts. So I'm proud of that one.
Kickr Move packed up and folded out in my shed. I pushed on through the experiment, again notching my FTP up to 390 and then 396 on day 4 and 5 respectively, which honestly I was pretty surprised and happy with at this stage. I genuinely didn't think this is how things would go. Heading into day 6 though, the fatigue started to bite. My resting heart rate was up in the morning and my FTP dropped back down to 375 after completing the test. Despite my best efforts, I just couldn't hold the pace or dig deep. And you could see this in my recovery stats. On the morning of day 6, my resting heart rate had spiked from 43 to 49 beats per minute, and my heart rate variability had dropped to a low of 94 from a starting point of 149. Signs of fatigue. But I still had one day to go. Would I have anything left to dig deeper?
Day 7, the last test. I folded up the Kickr Move, brought it back to GCM Mega Base for my final FTP test, last effort, up the grade. I was absolutely buckled after yesterday. It got me. That was the one that really broke me. I was absolutely knackered going to bed, just crawling up the stairs. I feel a bit brighter this morning. It's my last chance to see if I can push things any further. I'm really not sure if I will. I Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but still I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm jumping on, I'm just going to go as hard as I can. Anything I've got left, I'm hoping to leave in this test and see if any of those numbers change. Enough time for talking though. It's time to get into it, let's go. We're off. The final day. Full concentration. As you can probably tell, I haven't been able to talk much in these. Let's see what the body's saying today. Oh, there's no greater competition than against yourself. I was not letting past Conor beat me. I was so determined with that carrot dangling there. I was just determined not to bow out of this one too meekly. I'm going to dive through the results of the entire week. But once I've recovered, got my breath back, and also completed my shorter efforts, which I have been keeping up every day. But to let you guys know, results, quick one, last test, best of the week. So chuffed with that. 403 detected FTP after that test, which I'm made up with because I had my sights on that 400 mark. But what it cost me to get there, it cost me. Oh wow, right. Finish off these shorter efforts. I'm gonna take a moment and I'm really gonna dive into the week and just take a moment to consider what I've learned from all this. Woo! Right, the week's over. I've had a chance to recover and dive into the data. Headline stat, I improved my FTP by 14% from the start of the week. So diving from 352 watts to 403 watts, which I'm really proud of actually. On the grade climb, my effort went from 12 minutes 59 at 400 watt average to 11 minutes 21 at 462 watt average. That's a 1 minute 40 improvement. And aside from that off day on day 6, where you saw my resting heart rate spike, HRV being down, I was a bit tired. Aside from that day, I steadily improved as each day went by. So what's going on here? Now, I don't believe that I improved my fitness by that amount across the entire week. I think there's probably that last day is more of an accurate picture of where I currently stand. And also, I think that by doing the test every single day allowed me to get used to it. I was able to pace it better, handle the test better, almost game it in a way. I think as well, the consecutive days of riding didn't build up too much fatigue. It's quite a short test and I was able to repeat that day by day. And in effect, it actually allowed me to have a bit of a carrot to work towards. So I pushed more and I could actually find my true limits, which I really think is where I'm at now. I think to improve that further, I really would need some structured training. I still think it's a good metric to track your fitness with and set your training zones. But I also think you have to be quite careful and understand that it's not the whole picture. It's not the overall picture of where your total fitness is on the bike. Because look at those short duration power values that I did after each test. They absolutely plummeted as the week progressed. And whilst from the outside, my test result looked really good and it looked like my fitness was improving, I definitely couldn't have repeated that again on the same day, and I couldn't have repeated it at the end of a long endurance ride. And there are other aspects to your riding which are really important to work on away from just doing one really good effort, and that's that. Also, I've got to say, I'm a big fan of adding some movement
to a static trainer, I think it took, I was surprised because it took a little bit of time to get used to after day 1 and day 2, and then it did feel like I was out on the road and I was able to put down a more natural effort on the bike. So if you are someone that rides indoors a lot, being able to get that more natural feeling as you're riding is a big plus from me. So big thanks to Wahoo for sorting me out with the Kickr Move, because it definitely helped with that effort as the week progressed. Looking ahead, I'm more curious than anything finishing this video. Is FTP still relevant in modern cycling? Could I actually hold my FTP test result from this video for a whole hour, which is kind of considered almost the gold standard of FTP testing? So I'm going to go further. I'm going to delve into this more. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to find out what happens, and if that is true, can I do it? Because we'll have a video on the topic out very soon. And in the meantime, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Do you do testing? Do you test your fitness on the bike? What are your numbers? How do they change? And what sort of protocol do you like to follow? I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna recover now for a bit.